Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be looking at Google Insight for search, and this is a bit of a neat tool, useful for keyword research for some business types, particularly business types that are very regional based. Now, what this term does is gives us some really interesting search data. Now let's use an example. We're going to use foreclosure as our example. And to find this tool, just search in Google for Google Insight, and you'll find the first link will go to this particular tool. Now in this case, let's say we're in the business of foreclosure, and we want to understand our market. We want to learn a little bit more about what's going on in this market. Is it a rising trend? Is it a falling trend? And you can supply any search term for any business that you're in. So let's just get started with foreclosure as a good example. I'm going to click search. Now what happens here is we can see Google has now generated us a list, and first thing we can see here is this graph that goes from 2004 to 2010, and you can see that graph right here. So now we can look at, this is obviously when the data started was back in 2004 when Google started first keeping track of this data. And we can see here at the peak of, it was right about March 2009 was the height of people searching for foreclosure. Now, right now, my data is set to, or the filters are set to web search. We could do image search, news search, or product search. Product search is kind of interesting. If you were selling a particular product, do I care about the world, or do I look at a specific country, and what's the date range here? So I can say last 12 days, or sorry, 12 months, a specific year, last 7 days. I'm going to go for all time in this case, and then within categories. Now, for now, I'm going to leave the categories alone. And so we can see here, again, this is pretty interesting data. What also Google is giving us here too is major news events following along here. So in 2010, we can see there was this A right here. March 2011, there was some information about that. So these are basically all the news spots that are going on in this time period. Now we can see that foreclosure demand or searching has gone down. Had a little bit of a spike there, so it must have been something happening at that point. And again, we can see what that news trend is to that. This data is made up mainly from in the categories real estate, 50 to 75%, a little bit of local data, some finance and insurance, and society, and then there's some other categories. So we can also see here I've got the forecast ticked off, so that's that line there, right there. That's the forecast, so that's what they're telling us is going to be estimated to happening. And the news lines, I could turn the news lines off if I wanted to, or turn them on. I'll leave them on for this sake. Now let's go down to the next set of data, and that is regional interest. Right now, since 2004, more people search in the US foreclosure than any other country. So as you can see, foreclosure is listed in the States as being number one, Iraq number two, and Canada number three. And then what this means is basically is the per capita of people that search for this, the regional popularity compared to other countries. It's not the total volume, it's just the per capita search is really all that is. And so the reason that Iraq probably is showing up, and we can see that here on the map, is good old Iraq, is, my guess is probably military soldiers in there for the last few years, and no doubt they are searching for foreclosure information. Next we have Canada, Puerto Rico, Philippines, so forth. Now, what's interesting is we get some search phrases in here. Foreclosure homes. So what Google is telling us here, some top related phrases. So foreclosure is something that people search, but also a top related phrase is foreclosure homes, foreclosure listings, and so forth. So if I'm in the foreclosure business, this might give me some good ideas for keyword research as for other topics that I might want to search. Now, what's happening in this market is some high rising related phrases, and one of them is short sale. This is up 900% over recent searches. So this one is really breaking out, so to speak. And then here we got foreclosure rates, up 140%. And so we can see all this great stuff here. Some really awesome information. If I was into foreclosures, maybe I need to start looking at short sale or foreclosure rates, make pages about that, blog posts about that kind of stuff, because these are rising trends. What's interesting about these rising trends is that typically these rising trends have a disproportionate amount of demand versus what, say, competition might lie out there. Because these are new trends, might be a good chance for you to capitalize on these trends by making blog posts, because there is such a huge amount of demand for it. you might be able to get a good wedge going there. Now let's look at some of the other cool stuff that we can do with this tool. So now we saw that United States had more regional interest for foreclosure. Now what's really cool about this tool is maybe I want to investigate the United States market. Maybe I have a foreclosure product or service for the United States and I want to drill into that. So I'm going to click on the country United States. Now what's going to happen is the map is going to change and the regional interest is going to change. So now we can see that in the regional interest, more people per capita, not demand, but per capita, search in Florida than Nevada, than Georgia, and so forth. So here's the top 10 states that are having troubles with foreclosure and searching it more than anybody else over time. Now, this would be interesting because this is where maybe I want to concert my efforts. There's more searching for this in Florida than there is in any other state. So let's, if we wanted to, we could zoom in yet one more level. And now we get into the top, this is probably counties, I guess, or cities, I suppose. We got Miami, Fort Myers, and so we can see Miami here, #1. And we could zoom in one more time again. And now we're actually getting into the cities. So we got Weston, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Pompano Beach. These are the cities that are having the most trouble. And so maybe this is where we want to drive our advertising. If we are in the Florida area or maybe we're a national company, these are definitely cities that maybe we want to look at, if we're going to run a seminar or we're going to do some direct mail, that kind of information. We want to know what's going on in here. Now, this is also based over since 2004. So if we wanted to, maybe that's not an accurate picture because maybe Florida had a lot of troubles in 2004, but they're not having a lot of troubles in, say, 2010. We could say, let's just look at maybe the last 90 days, for example. And then click search. And now we can see here, really, Miami is having the most problems in the last 90 days. So we can see how this data has changed. And over the last 90 days, these are just regular kind of types of flatulations. 90 days probably isn't really good enough. Let's go to the last 12 months to maybe get a little bit more current. And so we can see here it's been kind of flatlining. We had in December, people seem to be forgetting about it around Christmas time. People, I guess, are probably not thinking about foreclosure. Come the new year, sure enough, there we get a rise, right? Now let's take a look at some other good examples. Let's maybe do lawn care. If I was into lawn care, so providing that as a business, let's search that. Now, if I am in the lawn care business, we can see here that we typically get a spike. In 2005, we had one at the beginning of the year. Where does this put us? In March. Here in 2006, May, June. In here, we got some July, some May, even all the way back into February, and then in here, 2010, May. So this seems to be the peak for these particular types of businesses. And then, of course, Google is forecasting that, come May, that's where the high demand is going to be. So if you're in the lawn care business, you're going to know that that is where the demand lies. Let's go to worldwide. Even better data. Okay, now we really get it clear. There you can really see this seasonal trend every season really spiking off there. And lawn care has probably been going down a little bit because the economy is not doing as good as it used to be. So it's kind of fallen down a little bit, and maybe we'll see that come back as the economy returns back to normal. Now, one thing we can do is add additional search terms in here. So let's do some holidays, for example. I just want to show you how to look at this. And I can't spell Christmas. Let's add another search term. Let's go to Easter, and we'll go to Halloween. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare these three holidays to each other. So what we've got here is Christmas in blue, Easter in red, Halloween in orange. Let's search this. Now, we can get rid of that green. It doesn't really exist. So we can see here that Christmas is searched far more than, or there's much more interest for Christmas. Then it goes to Halloween and then Easter. And you can see the regional interest, say, for Halloween versus, say, Christmas. So obviously Christmas has a lot more interest. And we can even see the times that they spike at. You can clearly see here that obviously Christmas peaks out around December. That's when the most searching is. Here was in that's still December. This is December, so Christmas always peaks out in December. Halloween probably October. Oh, that's Easter. Easter's March. Easter's April. So for the most part, we can see a pretty steady trend there, and then Halloween is probably all going to be shooting across in October. So kind of a nice little neat tool that we can use to sort of compare some of this stuff. Locations, if we wanted to, we can change our criteria. We could say if I wanted to just search for Canada, and maybe I wanted to search for British Columbia, and maybe I want to look for jobs within that region, no problem. I can do that. And so we can see here is the information for Canada, British Columbia, and here's the search trends going over time. So cool tool. I like it. I really think there's a lot of useful data in here, particularly for any website that offers a service that is regionally based or time sensitive. You might want to hop in here and find out, what's going on. I've seen worked with a lot of clients and customers, and they wonder why they're having troubles. It was funny. I used to work at an internet marketing company, and I was doing some keyword research for them, and they were wondering, why are we having troubles in internet marketing? Internet marketing's really going down. And first thing I did was I plugged this thing in here, and lo and behold, they've been basing their whole business on internet marketing. Kind of odd that they're an internet marketing company, but look at this trend here. I mean, we're just plummeting all the way down. So what they really need to do is start looking at other phrases that are perhaps having a rise. And so, maybe people don't search for internet marketing anymore or not as much, because it's a bit of a broad phrase. So they needed to get specialized and start looking at what are these specific phrases in here. Maybe affiliate marketing is making up some of that stuff, or marketing internet or free internet marketing. So again, they were mystified as to why they were having troubles and why they weren't getting the demand that they used to, or the searches that they used to. And then clearly this plainly shows there was a huge trend in 2004. People were looking for internet marketing information, and then it's been on the decline. And probably the reason is there's just not as much money to be made on online marketing. And also now there are so many subcategories within internet marketing. 4 years ago, internet marketing would have probably brought back relevant results for people searching it. But now with so many websites out there, it becomes very difficult, to find relevant information for internet marketing. So people are typing in much more specific stuff like affiliate marketing or email marketing, that kind of thing. So what we're probably seeing is the market fragmenting a little bit, and a little bit of decline, a bit of a combination of those 2 points is really probably what is explaining that. So you might want to take your own business and plop that in there and have a search for that. I hope this helps. I think this is a really cool tool, and please, if you enjoyed this video, please support me, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you have any questions or comments. Love to hear from you. And again, I make these videos just basically to help you guys out there, and I think there's a lot of videos out there that maybe aren't doing the best job of explaining how some of these tools work. So again, I just do this purely as a volunteer basis, and I enjoy teaching. So please support me if you enjoyed this. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great day.